Good morning. I'm Christine and I'm from Selfless Yoga. Today we're going to do an Ashtanga Vinyasa express class. It will be more of a short form class, doing a couple of the standing poses, transitioning into a couple of seated. So if Ashtanga Vinyasa is new to you, a lot of people have known Ashtanga as the yogis who do unbelievable types of yoga postures. But Ashtanga Vinyasa is accessible for everyone. When I did my teacher training in Bali, it really opened my mind that I can do this practice. And within every practice, there's more modifications for everyone. So go ahead, join me on your mat, and I would recommend using a yoga block or a pillow under your sit bones to elevate your hips. And just start to close your eyes. Maybe putting your hands in heart center. And starting to take a couple of few slow inhales and exhales. Just getting prepared for the practice. Inhales and exhales. Starting to feel your breath. Feel this moment. Starting your morning or evening with the practice. And as you breathe here, I'm going to go ahead and say the Ashtanga Vinyasa opening mantra. Vande Gudanam Charanara Vande Sandara Shita Swatma Sukhava Bodhe Nisreya Se Jangalika Yamane Samsara Hala Hala Mohashantye Abahu Purushankaram Shankachakra Siddhahinam Sarasra Sirasam Svetam Pranamami Patanjalim Om. So with this Ashtanga Vinyasa class, just open your eyes. And the three main principles to think about when you're doing this practice is Tristana, your breath, your movement, your bandhas, really contracting in your belly in and up in your pelvic floor. And your dristi, your point of focus. Are you focusing on other people? Are you focusing on maybe instead of focusing between your legs, you're focusing above. So you're just trying to focus in on different locations to help you more, kind of makes your practice more of a meditation with movement versus just a yoga practice or going to the gym. You're being mindful with every movement. If at any point you feel any numbness or tingling, something abnormal, sharp, always come out of the posture. Always listening to your body and not pushing yourself. You know, sometimes when we practice, we want to push and go outside of that edge. It's not worth it because injuries can occur. So let's get started. So I'm going to go ahead and stand at the top of my mat. Standing in Samasthiti, toes are touching, heels slightly spread apart, hands at your side, and look forward. Starting to do a Ujjayi breath with sound, open ocean breath. Surya Namaskar A. Ekam, inhale, hands overhead. Nice long spine. Exhale, hinge from your hip, forward fold. You can always grab onto your shins if it's too much. Inhale, halfway lift. Nice flat spine. Exhale, palms open. Step back, hip distance. Come down into chaturanga. You can always bend your knees. Inhaling into upward facing dog. Bring your shoulder blades in, looking up. And exhale, downward facing dog. Let's sit here for 5 breaths. 1. Focusing on your Ujjayi breath. 2. Bring your hips up and back. 3. Open your shoulders. Roll your shoulders away from your ears. 4. Drishti is between your legs or your belly button. And 5. On the exhale, bring your hips back. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. And inhale, palms overhead. Exhale, Samasthiti. Inhale, hands overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Bend your knees if you need to, abdomen to thigh connection. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, go ahead into chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathing here. 1. If your heels don't touch, you can micro bend and still lift your hips up and back. 2. 3. 4. And 5. Inhale. Halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, palms overhead. Exhale, Samasthiti. Now, taking a moment just to say, if you can't do the inhales and exhale between each movement, it's okay. Just try to get used to the flow of the practice. And with practice, you will be able to breathe. Now, as you can see, I am doing the practice and speaking. So that's not ideal. It's not really my practice today. It's your practice. So I'm just trying to show you the poses with prompts, but you focus on the inhales, the exhales, the breath count. And if you make extra breaths or it's not as steady, that's okay. That's just practice. And that's why you're here today. Okay? Let's go again. We'll start at the top of our mat. I see some people who've joined. So we're going to get started again with Surya Namaskar A. So we do a couple of rounds of this to warm up our body. Okay? And so to heat the body up, you're detoxifying the body, as well as this helps more flexibility. And it protects you from injury. So this is very important. We always do this before our practice. Different styles of practice, you may be cold, right? But this practice, we're being warm. Toes touching, heels slightly spread apart, fingertips towards the ground, and you're looking forward. Inhale, palms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back, high plank to low plank and hover if you can. Inhale, upward facing dog, really squeezing your glutes. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathing here. 1. Belly in and up. 2. 3. 4. And 5. Inhale, step or jump into halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, palms overhead. Exhale, Samasthiti. Okay. Inhale, palms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, step back, chaturanga. Drop your knees if you need to. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathing here. 1. Nice, wide, even distribution of your hands. 2. Really pushing your hips up and back. 3. 4. And 5. Inhale. Walk or step. Halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, palms overhead. Exhale, Samasthiti. And take a moment. Close your eyes. And start to feel your breath. Just taking note of this moment. Noticing your heart. Noticing your breath. Just keep breathing here. There is no rush. There's nowhere to be but here with me now. Okay, so we're going to do one more round. And then we're going to move into our second Surya Namaskar. Okay? Inhale, palms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back. Chaturanga. Pancha, inhale. Upward facing dog. Shot, exhale. Downward facing dog. And breathing here. 1. If at any point this is a lot for you, you can always go and sit into child's pose. 3. 4. And 5. Septa, inhale, halfway lift. Ashta, exhale, forward fold. Nava, inhale, hands overhead, and into Samasthiti. Beautiful. We're going to do Surya Namaskar B. This goes into chair pose, which is Utkatasana. So I'll show you in the beginning at the end. We'll be sitting back into Utkatasana. And then it also has a variation of warrior on each leg in between your chaturangas. So your warriors, and then you'll be doing the opposite side. So I know I'm just showing you So when I do say it, you kind of know what to do. The first round, if it's a little shaky, it's okay. Just follow along. Okay? So toes touching, heels slightly spread apart. Hands into Samasthiti. Inhale, chair pose. Bring your hips down, hands up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step your right leg in front between your hands, left foot diagonal, and come up. Sometimes I'll take my hands on my hips, squaring it, and come up. Exhale, palms down. Step back, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step your left leg between your hands and slowly come up. You can keep your hands on your hips here or slowly come up. Exhale, palms down. Step back, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. We'll breathe here for 5 breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Inhale, step or jump into halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, palms overhead. Oh, made a mistake, sorry. Inhale, Utkatasana chair pose. And exhale, Samasthiti. Great, let's see. Anyone has any questions with this pose, with this Surya Namaskar? If not, the nice thing about lives, we can pause in between and ask questions. If not, let's continue. We'll do 2 more rounds. Toes touching, heels slightly spread apart. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Bring your hips down like you're sitting in a chair. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step your left leg forward, right leg forward. Virabhadrasana, warrior pose. Exhale, palms down. Step your right leg back, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step your left leg forward and slowly come up. Exhale, palms down. Step back, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathing here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, step or jump into halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, bend your knees. Palms up, Utkatasana. And exhale, Samasthiti. One more round. And we move on. Just give yourself a moment. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Step, jump back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog, Urdhva Mukha Sarvanasana. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step your right leg forward, Virabhadrasana, warrior. Exhale, palms down, step back, high plank to low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step, left leg. May take a couple steps, it's okay. And slowly come up. Exhale, palms down. Step back, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And breathe here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. And inhale, chair pose. And exhale, Samasthiti. So, if you were practicing since the beginning, you'll notice a lot of heat, a lot of warmth in your body. You might even be sweating, and that's normal to really warm your body up for your practice. So going ahead in this moment, putting your toes together, heels slightly spread apart, and just breathe here for just a moment. Going back to your Ujjayi breath, going back to this moment, and noticing what comes up. Just not having any judgment. And continue to breathe here. Few more breaths. And then one more breath. So since you're at the top of your mat, toes touching, heels slightly spread apart, our first pose is going to be Padangustasana, Padahastasana. These are just forward folds. So either you put your hands on your hips, step or jump your feet hip distance wide. Inhale, open your chest. Exhale, hinge from your hips. And I like to bend my legs to have my thigh connected to protect my lower back. And I grab my big toe. If you cannot grab your big toe, you just go forward to your thigh, to your shin, and you'll get all the benefits. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Elbows out to the side. And you're going to breathe here. 1. Go put your weight towards your toes. Trust yourself. 2. 3. 4. And 5. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale. Decide if you're going to do the same pose or go deeper. Bringing your palms underneath your feet. Index finger against your arch. Toes on your wrist crease. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold, and breathe here. 1. Really bend into your knees. Lift your hips. 2. If this is uncomfortable, just kind of bring your head up a little bit if it hurts your neck. 3. Bring your weight forward. 4. And 5. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands on your hips. Inhale, all the way back up. Step or jump back into Samasthiti, palms at the side. Udhita Trikonasana, triangle pose. Okay? Step your right leg behind you, palms out to the sides. And turn towards the back of your mat. So your right toes are pointing towards the back of your mat. Your left feet is maybe a 90-degree angle or diagonal. And then you go ahead and grab your big toe, kind of like you're on a mirror, like flat surface, your body, and bring your palms up. If that's too much, you can go onto your shin. 1, 2, really open your chest open. 3, you can't look up, look forward. 4, and 5. Inhale, come back up, T position, and switch. Now also looking at your feet, making sure you're heel to heel or stepped a little bit out. And then go ahead and grab your big toe or shin wherever you can and lift. 1. Open your chest more. 2, 3, 4, and 5. And inhale, come all the way back up. And go back towards the back of your mat. Now your feet are a little bit more squared position, so they're more going towards the front, like a 45-degree angle, but your right foot is just straight, left foot is 45. And we're gonna do Pavarita Trikonasana, which is a revolve, a twist. If that's too difficult, you could just put your hands on your shin to get a little deeper, but your goal is to get this left hand all the way on the outside. But listen to your body, okay? So going ahead, I like to twist, put my right hand on my hip. I like elongating my left arm, and I go over the outside of my right leg. Sometimes you can micro bend your leg if it's too intense, or go onto your shin. And breathe here. Extend your right arm. 1. You can always use a block. That's an option. 2, 3, 4, twist, open up, and 5. So we inhale, come back up, doing the families, and twist, changing to the opposite. And inhale, and exhale. I'll show this side with a block. Block right the outside, and there. Or like this. The higher it is, it's a little bit unstable. You can go a little bit lower if you need to. 3, 4, and 5. And slowly come back up. T position, back into top of your mat. So as you notice, I didn't really explain that we do things in families. So we just did the triangle family. So everything's in families within Ashtanga Vinyasa. So you do your right, your left, and then you'll do the revolve version, which is the twisted version of that same pose. Then you come back to the top of your mat. In between each pose, you're bringing your hands out. That kind of resets your body, gets you prepared for the pose. So remember, you can use blocks. I didn't mention that earlier, but blocks are there to help you. Don't ever think that you're weak or anything. I use blocks all the time. I use all the props because it makes my body feel better. So, and I feel safer. So if you need a moment, grab your block. If you're ready, let's go. So we're gonna go ahead and do Parshkonasana. Now I'm saying these words in Sanskrit. It's very traditional, but I will cue you on what we're doing. So kind of doing a side angle with a bent leg stretch, lateral stretch. Okay. So go ahead and stand here. And what we can do is put one block on one side before we start. Put one block on the other side. So you have them when you need it. So I'm gonna need it in this one. Okay. So step your right leg to the back of your mat. Okay, just like the Trikonasana family. But you're gonna step your feet a little bit more forward and you're gonna bend into your right leg. Okay, and then you're just gonna go all the way down, similar with the hands. And you could put your hands on a block on the inside, the outside, or over your thigh. You pick your choice. And breathe here. One, really opening your chest, pinky towards the ground. Two, dristies looking at your fingers. Three, four, and five. Inhale, come all the way back up. Switching left toes towards the front of your mat. Right feet are diagonal. Go ahead and start to bend into that front knee. Bring your knee out towards the back sides of your body. And come on over. One. Open your chest. Two. Squeeze your back leg. Three. Left leg out to the outside. Touch your left. Four. And five. Inhale, come back up. Now we're going to do the revolve version, the twist. So we can go turn towards the back of our mat. Just to show you the options if this is your first time. You can start on your knee and do a prayer position twist. You can see, you can see. Twist prayer position, not collapsing, but really engaging. Or you can do a tucked version like this, kind of like a high lunge. If your ankles are tight, then you can go here. And the deepest pose when you put your arm all the way down on the ground. So some people have the flexibility. They can really twist across, close that gap between the armpit and the thigh, and then come all the way up. Options are there for progression. Okay, so we're here. Decide on your pose. And inhale, left hand up, and exhale, twist to the outside of your right leg. And breathe here. One, two, three, four, and five. Inhale, palms all the way back up. Exhale, switch. And you might notice one side is a little bit more flexible. Not judging that side, just taking note. And breathing here. One, two, 3, 4, and 5. And inhale, come all the way back up and step to the top of your mat into Samasthiti. We're going to do Pasarita Padottanasana. It is a wide leg forward fold. We're going to do 4 variations of this pose. Hands on your hips. Step your right leg behind you, wide towards a wide length of your mat. Toes slightly in. Inhale, open your chest. Exhale, forward fold. Hinge from your hips. Drop your hands between, parallel to each other. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. And breathing here. 1. Bring your elbows towards the midline. 2. Bring your weight a little forward. 3. 4. If you can micro bend your knees if it's too much. 1 more breath. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands on your hips. Inhale, come all the way back up. Hands out to the side. Reset. Hands on your hip as you inhale. And keeping your hands on your hips, hinging from your hips, and try to go the same depth that you did the first pose. 1. Elbows towards the midline. 2. Bring your weight towards your toes. 3. 4. And 5. Inhale, come all the way back up. Exhale, hands out. This pose you can do C position. You can either grab opposite elbow or you can bind your hands for a deeper stretch. Inhale, open your chest. Exhale, forward fold. Breathe here, bringing your weight forward. 2, bringing your hands away from your spine. 3, 4, and 5. And inhale, come all the way back up. Exhale, hands on your hips. Deciding if you're going to grab your big toe, which is D position, or you can grab your shins. You don't have to go to the depth that I'm going because I couldn't do the toes. So it's okay. Today you start where you are at and accept that part of yourself. Inhale, open your chest wide. Exhale, hinge from your hips. Grab your big toe with your index and middle finger. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold, elbows out to the side. And breathing here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands on your hips. Inhale, come all the way back up. And go back to the top of your mat. Okay. So now we're going to go down to seated. So with Ashtanga Vinyasa, with standing, you're not doing vinyasas in between. You're merely coming back to Samasthiti, the top of your mat. It can be called mountain pose, right? In other lineages. But you're always coming back, resetting. When you go to the floor now, it becomes a lot more intense. And so just like the Surya Namaskar A that we started with in the beginning of our class, between each side of the pose, you will be doing a vinyasa. Now, today, you don't have to do that. You can do a vinyasa when you're finished with both sides of the pose. You can release your body in different ways. Because, for example, my body is not always the same every day. It changes, it's dynamic. But as long as I'm consistent, that's fine. Okay? So let's go ahead at the top of your mat in Samasthiti. Toes touching, heels slightly spread apart. So we're not going to continue with the rest of the standing. We're going to do a couple of seated poses. Okay? So there's actually a little bit more, but we're going to move on to some seated poses. This is an express class. Inhale, palms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And our step or jump back into chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And a simple way to step through is bringing opposite foot behind your opposite arm. So step, step, sit, extend your legs. So when you're sitting here, it's the same thing you think of as when you're standing. Everything's a nice midline. Your knees are not turning in or out. Your goal is to have your feet touching, but if you need a little bit of space, that's okay. And I kind of get my sit bones more grounded. Paschimottanasana, our first forward fold. So inhale, get yourself hands on your shin, hands on your big toe, or hands sides of your feet, or binding your hand. So inhale, open your chest, elongate your spine. Exhale, forward fold. I'm going to breathe here for 5 breaths. 1. If you need to bend your knees to protect your lower back, you can do so. 2. The goal is to have your abdomen against your thigh. 3. 4. And 5. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, and let's do a deeper pose. I'm going to put my hands on the side. You can do it a little bit deeper. Bring your knees in. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. 1. 2. 3. 4. And 5. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale. And we can do a vinyasa or a simple transition is to open your body. Just to do some windshield wiper side to side. Or you can go ahead and do a vinyasa. And then I cross my feet and do a couple of cat and cows. Okay? The vinyasas are there to release your body from those poses. So this is an option if you're more of a beginner. So you can still practice and not feel like you're not doing your practice. These options are here for you. And when you're ready, bring your feet hip distance. So this is Purvattanasana. So what you're doing is the option here is either you're putting your hands behind you, So sometimes what I'll do, put my elbows down. Where my elbow is where my hands go. You can either do it reverse tabletop position, or a deeper is extending both your feet in front and lifting your hips, toes to touch the ground. So decide which one you want to do. Okay? And inhale, lift. 1. Lift your hips more. 2, 3, 4, and 5. And come down slowly. To do a vinyasa, cross your feet in front of you. Put your hands to the sides or in front of you to give you more leverage. Lift your hips up. Step, step. Chaturanga. Inhale. Upward facing dog. Exhale. Downward facing dog. And step, step. Extend your legs. Let's see the time. Okay. So we're going to do Janu Shirshasana. So extend your left leg and it's active. You're always flexing because you're having the muscles protect your joints, okay? So you're flexing your left foot, bending your right foot, and then your sole of your feet is on the ground. And you drop your knee out to the side, foot to inner thigh connection. Make sure you're nice and squared, looking forward. Inhale, deciding where you're gonna go. Shin, toes, wherever you think is best. Inhale, open your chest wide. And exhale, forward fold. Breathing here, 1. Really grounding your legs onto the ground, 2. The left leg, you can microbend it. 3. 4. And 5. Inhale, halfway lift with a smile. Exhale. Do a vinyasa like we did before, or listening to your body. Doing some windshield wipers. Just a couple of cat and cows. And switching side. Extend your right leg in front, flexing. Your left leg, extending your right leg, left leg bent out to the side. Inhale and exhale. 1. 2. 3. 4. And 5. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and release. Let's do a vinyasa together. So cross your feet. Okay? Bring your chest forward. Bring your knees towards your center. Okay. Squeezing in. Take your hands, go in front. And you're lifting your sit bones up and stepping back with control. There's no rush here. You can always drop your knees if you need to. And come down. Chaturanga. Inhaling. Exhaling. And you just step through or jump through, which is an option. I'm not doing that today. And extend your feet in front. So we're gonna move on to some closing postures. We're gonna do modified poses today. My first time doing a live with Ashtanga Vinyasa on YouTube, so I'm very excited. And if you weren't able to join, it's fine. You're here now. And even if you're watching, there's no judgment here. And even in my practice, you may notice that I can't do certain postures. It's not about the yoga teacher doing all the postures. It's about just sharing the practice, the intention behind why I'm here. So I'm just excited to be here and to show you that you can do these poses with modifications and being patient with the body. Sometimes we forget that. We want instant gratification, but that's not the goal in life. I think that is. But the real, for me, is just to give without any expectation, because it just gives so much fulfillment, compassion, sharing that, and showing you that even sometimes when you think that you're alone, you have your practice, you have yourself. You forget about that. And gratitude to you for being here. All right, just giving you a break too. Just trying to get a little break in there. So we're gonna do a simple bridge pose supported. So there are different variations of the bridge pose, Setu Bandhasana. But in Ashtanga Vinyasa, it's a little bit of a different and more of an intense pose, right? You're rolling over onto your neck and lifting, hands over chest. We're not going to do that today. We're just going to do a simple bridge. And if you are more of an experienced yogi, you can do the more advanced pose, just lifting without any props. So you're going to go ahead and lay on your back. Knees hip distance wide, heels hip distance wide. And laying on your back, take my block. It goes on the hard part of your sacrum, not on your spine. So inhale, lift your hips up and decide what size. It can be the lowest level, medium level. Let's see what feels comfortable for you. And then you're going to sit here. Hands by your side. Nice, gentle back bend. Let's breathe here for 10 breaths. 1, 2, making sure your feet is parallel to each other, straight towards the front of your mat. 3, neck is midline, not turning your neck, keeping it straight. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Then go ahead and lift your hips up. Go back to the ground with your hips. And just do a gentle knees to chest. And just rock side to side. Just to counter that back bend. Let's do it 2 more times. You can do the same pose. Maybe you want to not use the block. You can just use your hands and push. Or what I like doing is interlocking my hands underneath. So I put my fingers to kind of touch my heel. Then I bring my hands and I bind my hands and I roll under my back and lift. 5 breaths here. 1, really engage into your glutes. 2, squeezing, lifting. 3, 4, and 5. And come down. Bring your knees into your chest, rocking side to side. And you decide, what do you need today? Do you want to use a block? Do you want to do more of an intense bridge? You decide, no judgment. Feet down. And inhale, lift your hips up. So squeezing your glutes, lifting. 2, 3, 4, and 5. And release. Bring your knees in, rocking side to side. And you can do a vinyasa, or you can just do what I'm doing, rocking side to side. At the end of the day, you know what you need in your practice today. I'm just here to guide you. And then slowly come seated position for just a moment. So we're going to go ahead and try. We're going to do some dolphin poses. Now, I was going to do shoulder stand, but that can be intense. And I'm not as confident in explaining it, honest. I don't want you to get hurt. So I think the nice thing to practice is dolphin pose, because this will give you strength, as well as it will help you build onto your headstand practice. Now, if you have a headstand practice, I would love you to go ahead and do so. And just breathing through it for a couple of minutes. And whenever you know you're ready, always coming down with control and going into a child pose for a couple of moments, just to acclimate your body. And if you want to join me with our dolphin, let's do it now. So you're going to go ahead and go into a downward facing dog. Okay, so we're in a downward facing dog. And we're going to walk our feet in, walk our feet in, walk our feet in, walk our feet in, walk our feet in. Okay, so this is kind of an idea of our dolphin. We're going to be in like a reverse triangle, in a triangle kind of position, right? A V. Okay. We go back down onto your knees. And so we're going to practice just walking into it. So now, if you have a wall, you can do this against a wall. Okay. That's an option if you want to do your headstand practice. I even still use a wall because sometimes I get tired. If I did the whole primary series, and just to have a protection there. So I'm not going to use the wall, but the wall is always there as comfort. Okay. So we're going to grab opposite tricep, drop our arms, our elbows down. You make a triangle, but binding your hands. I like lifting my pinky finger. Okay. And then you're going to kind of create a basket. So there's a flat part of your head, and that's where you'll be balancing through for headstand. Now I know we're doing dolphin, but I want to walk you into this type of dolphin option. So you put your head down, feel the hard part of your pose. Now, if you have high blood pressure, you have glaucoma, you have neck injury, maybe you're menstruating, you're pregnant, don't do this. Don't do headstand or invert. Just be very mindful of it. I wouldn't do headstand. But dolphin will help you with some strength. Okay. So go ahead and lifting your hips up, and make sure your arms don't flay out. Keep it in. And walk and walk and walk as much as you can. Just keep walking your feet. Okay? And still make sure it's hip distance wide. And here, You bring your chin forward and you bring it back. Really squeeze at the back of your mat. And you come forward and come back. So the goal is to go above your bind hands, but I can't do that. I'm not as strong yet. And if that's very difficult for you, you can do it on your knees. Go forward, come back. Come forward, come back. And now when you're coming back this time, just staying here, squeezing, and just breathing here. If the bind is very uncomfortable for you, you could put your forearms parallel. Breathing. And slowly come down and sit back into a child's pose. Wherever you're at, it's okay. Yoga is a journey. Just following your breath for a few moments. And slowly come up. And we're going to lay into Shavasana. Shavasana is one of the most important poses. Just opening your arms, opening your legs. It allows to seal your practice. If you need pillows under your knees, maybe pillows under your shoulder, and sometimes you may need a blanket. Going ahead now, getting all the things. So you can give your body a moment to seal your practice. Relaxing your feet. Releasing any tension in your knees or thighs. Relaxing your hands, feeling as if it's melting onto the ground below you. Releasing any tension in your upper shoulders. Releasing upper and lower jaw. And just breathing here. We'll be here for a couple of minutes. I am inhaling. I am exhaling. Inhale. Exhale. And if you want to stay here for a bit longer, you can. They say you should stay for 5 to 10 minutes. And I'll do so after I finish the live. But if you have to go, we'll just do a quick closing. So bring your knees into your chest, rocking side to side, just slowly opening the body and rolling over to your right side. Slowly coming back up into a seated position. And taking your time, there's no rush here. And we'll do the closing of the Ashtanga Vinyasa. Hand into heart center. Inhale. Swasti Prajabhyaha Palipalayam Nayena Markena Mahim Saha Go Brahmanebhyaha Subhamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Om Shanti 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 Om Peace Peace Peace. Thank you for joining with me. And let's see to answer a couple of questions if anyone has in this moment. Okay. Hi, Dominique. Okay. And can you do splits on it? Okay. So in certain poses you can do splits, but today that wasn't our focus. So during your practice, you can work on many things, for example. So outside of my Ashtanga Vinyasa practice, I do like yoga drills. I don't really like calling it yoga drills, but I do things to kind of open my body up so I can go deeper. So some things that I work on is even in Ashtanga Vinyasa, straddle pose, really opening my legs nice and open, okay? And really stretching there, maybe sitting here a little bit longer. And that helps open up your hips, okay? And that helps you with splits. Now, some people, I think one of the poses we were doing was a wide leg forward fold. Some people, if it's more of a vinyasa style, you can actually go into tripod. I can't do it right now. I'm just not ready for that. So you go. I'm just going to do it at the wall. They would go into a tripod. They can really lean forward, that their head touches the ground, and they're kind of like in a tripod pose. Then they'll split their legs into like a handstand, up into a handstand. When we were doing Pastarita Padottanasana, standing forward folds. Then, after their fourth breath or so, they'll slowly come back down, and their legs will be back into that wide leg forward fold in that A position, and slowly come up. So that is a variation of splits, for example, options. And a lot of our poses that we're doing standing, working on the hamstring, working on the hip flexors. These can help. And you also can do other styles of vinyasa poses, like half splits, for example. You can extend one leg's behind, and you can kind of sit here and really work on that. Maybe extend. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll take a block. So I would extend my leg in front, other legs behind, and I kind of slowly open up. And wherever I feel I can go, you can use a block, but be careful. And you can kind of sit here. You'll feel a lot of intensity right here. And that can also help you with splits, okay? And that's just a regular pose you can do on your own after your practice, or even incorporate within your practice. Okay. Any other questions? So, thank you for being here today. And thank you for your questions on that. I hope you have a wonderful day. And thank you for joining me for my first live with Ashtanga Vinyasa Express class, getting a feel for it. And I hope you have a wonderful day.